everyone! Welcome to Sunday. It's once again time for Ask the Danni app. I'm Danni Ackerman of the Danni app. For anyone who is new here for the first time, welcome. We do this every Sunday, 5 o'clock my time. And we record the shows. You can always go back, see something you missed, but you can only talk in the chat and interact with me live on the show. So I'm very happy for all of you who are here. And I have so much to talk about. But first, I must get this out of the way. So our first segment is brought to you by Cabbage.com. And I am so excited. As many of you know, I am heading to Philadelphia, and then I'm heading down to Atlanta. And when I'm in Atlanta, that is home base for Cabbage. And I am going to get to go do a special tour of the Cabbage facility. So that's going to be really super fun for me. I am going to take video, pictures, all that good stuff so you can kind of get a behind-the-scenes look at Cabbage and what goes on there. So I can tell you guys I've used Cabbage since the beginning that they've been around. I was one of their first advances, and I cannot tell you how happy I am with the ability they have given me to have some opportunities that are just phenomenal. So yeah, it's not free, but it's definitely, if you check your numbers and you use it wisely, it can make you a lot of money, So get some Cabbage.com. Check it out. All right. Oh, what do we have to talk about? Oh, first, real quick, before I forget, the home run guide that you guys have seen me just talking about all week. These are two guides that were written by numerous authors and experts on whatever their particular base of knowledge is. Of course, I wrote about glass, some pretty extensive articles on glass. There's everything from sewing machines to, oh gosh, it's just like glass and pottery and porcelain and toys and guy stuff and girl stuff, and you name it. And these books do not go on sale. They just don't, because there's just so much information in them. There's really, honestly, there's no reason to put these books on sale, because with the money-back guarantee that they have, I have not heard of anybody being unhappy with the information they got for the price that they paid. But they are on sale. It is the last 24 hours. And then I suspect they are not going on sale again in a year, if not two. So if you were sitting on the fence about whether to grab that home run guide or not, it's time. It's time. Right now, go to that link right there. Backtoschoolcash.com. Use the code BACKTOSCHOOL. That's very important. You have to put in the code to get the 15% off. And I'm sweetening the deal, because if you purchase volumes 1 and 2 and use backtoschoolcash.com and the code BACKTOSCHOOL, I am going to throw in a 30-minute private coaching session so that you can take that information and buy some cool stuff, and I will walk you through how to best get it listed, or whatever you need from me. So option's yours. So that's my little sweetening the deal for you. But you've only got 24 hours left. It's going away. All right. Our topic tonight is eBay Cassini Revealed. Okay, so you guys, you already know it's out there. It has rolled out this year, but it is something that I am actually talking about when I go back to SCO in Philadelphia. And so I've been doing a lot of research, digging really, really into Cassini, how it works and how you can get your listing shown and all that. And what I have discovered, I sort of fell into the whole, oh my gosh, Cassini is terrible, my buyers can't find my stuff, and I was kind of on the bandwagon with that. But the more I learn about it, the more I see it in action and I'm able to utilize these things that I'm learning, the more I'm getting excited about it, because it is phenomenal technology. First, let me just say that. So just to give you guys some scope of the numbers out there, Because I think this is something that we take for granted. And we just think everything should just keep running, you know, smoothie woothie. My little terminology there. So there are, and whenever I talk numbers, I got to refer to my notes here. So there are over 400 million listings on eBay. 400 million. Okay, that's kind of a big number. So imagine customer punches in some things into the search engine. Whatever is doing the searching has to go through 400 million listings, right? Who thinks that sounds efficient and is going to be fast and accurate? Anybody? Okay, didn't think so, because it's not. So eBay has had something called Voyager, and I don't know why they come up with these cutesy names, but Voyager was the search engine that we all knew prior to Cassini, and this rolled out in 2002. So we're talking a decade-old technology, and in the day, it certainly served its purpose. I mean, eBay, has always been kind of the go-to place to sell our stuff. People could find our stuff, so we thought. What we don't know is how many people weren't finding our stuff. That's only numbers that eBay has, that eBay kind of has that data. So you have to trust. It is in eBay's best interest to make sure that the customers can find what they're looking for. And eBay is not, what's the word in Nikki? They're not loyal to any one seller out there. They need all of us to provide all of that stuff. So there's no favorites being played. I know it's kind of been set out there, and there's times where they've romanced some of the big retail brands. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but all of that big retail brand romancing that was so in our face has kind of disappeared. You notice that? It's pretty much an equal playing field out there now. You guys can compete like no others. Because here's the thing. Well, number one, you're interested in learning how to do that. I would wager to bet, okay, don't make me pick a number because I'm so bad at just picking a number out of my head, but there's a very large percentage of sellers out there who don't give a rip about best practices and how Cassini works and how they can make a better listing. That gives you guys a distinct advantage because you are willing to figure it out and make sure your listings are the ones that are going to come up. So here's some things. So we've got 400 million items that have to be gone through to find those results for the buyers. Now, keep in mind, 20% of this inventory is leaving the system every day, okay, items ending. Also, just as much of that is being listed every day. And then there's price changes, revisions, all of this stuff that, is happening. It's huge. There are 6 huge data centers. They are all located kind of Utah over to the West Coast. They did not spread them all across the country because they want these data centers all to be able to very quickly talk to one another. And this is why, and this is very interesting. I sat next to the manager of the data centers when I was on a plane ride back to San Francisco, and he assured me that, it is just about impossible for eBay to go down. Well, we all know that happened last week, so I should call him. I have his card somewhere. I was, okay, so what happened? But really would just be an absolute huge fluke for that to happen. Now, I'm sure there is a programmer somewhere who now is without a job for that happening, because that was actually a software writing issue, not a failure of the data systems. So you've got these data systems all talking. I mean, it is an enormous operation that we just don't even think about. We go to eBay, we punch in our stuff, we just think, hey, it works, okay? So you have to remember that it's got to utilize all this information in a way that brings back results that are going to get customers to buy. Now, granted, traffic numbers may be down for you, down for me. But what's more important, of those traffic numbers that you're now getting, this is what you need to look at. You need to look at conversion, because it doesn't matter how many times you come up in a search result if you're not getting in front of the right customer, if it's not the customer that wants to buy your stuff, right? So now what Cassini is doing is it is reading the customer's mind, so to speak. Not really. It's learning the customer's behavior. It's learning what that buyer searches for on a regular basis, how they make their buying decisions, what type of sellers they're buying from, meaning the trust factor. There's so much criteria there that it is learning the specific customer so that when your search result comes in front of that buyer, there is a much, much greater likelihood they're going to click onto your listing and buy. Because ultimately, that is what we want. We want buyers. We don't want looky-loos. We want buyers. So that is kind of it in a nutshell. Now, here's what you can do to up your chances of getting in front of that right customer. So my appsters know this. I just preach all over the place. You've got to know your customer's language. You've got to know what you're selling and what the buyer calls it. This is really important. Know your customer's language, because you now have to speak to them in that search query box. So I'm going to tell you something, and let's see who's shocked by this. So we've always been about 80 characters, fill them up, use all that space, put in every word you can, right? Guess what? No more. Don't do that. You want to put in relevant, very relevant search query terms. And what I mean by that is, how is the customer typing it in is as important as what is the customer typing in. So if you have a red pair of tennis shoes, you don't want to call them shoes, red, tennis, sneakers, yada yada. You want to talk more in a language that Cassini is going to relate back to that customer who's been searching for those. And they're kind of keeping that data of not just that one customer, but what do the majority of customers put in. And you'll see that when you start typing in a search query up in your search box there, you'll see that eBay brings you back some suggested results. Pay attention to those, okay? As you're researching something to sell, you start typing in the words, look and see the order of the words that eBay's putting in there. That's really important, okay? Don't just put in filler terminology. You only put words that are very important to that specific item. So I leave out, by all means, leave out terms like new in the box, mint, beautiful, all of that stuff. It's only going to cause you the possibility of not coming up at all unless you have something that there's just few results, okay? So I know a lot of you say, oh, my thing doesn't come up when I search. Check your titles. Make sure your titles are very succinct and to the point, and say exactly what that item is in the order that a customer is going to say it. All right, the other thing is fill in your item specifics. Item specifics, exactly. So item specifics are category specific. Some categories, they've already give you some prefabbed places to put things. Some they don't. If they don't, add your own. You want to add maker names, color, model numbers, artists, patterns, if you know, for glass and dinnerware and flatware, anything that is very fact-based, that is something about that object you're selling. Get those in your item specifics because unlike Voyager, Voyager search titles only, okay? Cassini searches everything in the listing. So it's title, item specifics should back up what your title says. Now you go into your description, make sure that the same information that's in your title and item specifics is now in your description. You have just totally confirmed to the search engine that what you're selling is exactly what you say it is. It puts it in front of the customer, and yay. Yeah, and there's certain, that brings up a good point. You can look at Google attribute titles. This is eBay and Google trying to play well together because a lot of those titles, those header names will be what you want to use so they both play well together because you still want to come up in Google too. So this is where you got to kind of balance it, okay? But I can tell you most sellers are not paying attention to this stuff. So this is going to get your items seen, guys. This is going to do it. Oh, one other thing, shorten your description toss. For those that have always had these big long lists of, how to make payment and all that international stuff and shorten it. I'm not saying take it out because I think the terms of service are important, but shorten it as much as you can because you want that to be a very small portion of your description and the description actually to be the description. And by all means, get rid of those scroll and gallery bars. Blep, 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 Optiva and Bendio, I think, does it. InkFrog has one. Get those. If nothing else, get them to the bottom of your listings. I know sometimes it's really hard to get them to go away, especially that Optiva one, but it's really important, guys. Really important. And I really don't think anybody looks at them. I'll tell you the truth. So that is Cassini in a nutshell. No fear. You guys are going to be fine as it learns people, and it's completely rolled out now, by the way, as it's learning buyer behavior, which is taking a little while, and then you've got people like us that we're researching a little bit of everything. We really confuse the heck out of it. So what you're getting back as search results is not necessarily what your customers are getting back as search results, okay? So keep that in mind. It's very searcher specific, and it's going to learn you over time. Going to learn you. So no fear. And I'm going to keep up on this, guys, and I'm going to keep getting answers. So please feel free to shoot me any questions you have about it. I'm digging in deep, because I want you guys to have the best fourth quarter ever. Yay!